Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Game of Thrones Season 8 predictions video. This is the second installment, but it doesn't have to be the last. So like, subscribe, ring the bell, become a patron at patreon.com/cwschultz, and visit my website, www.cwschultz.com, where you can read some of my work, including my upcoming high fantasy novel, Whispering of the Autumn Leaves. Views, subscribes, and likes help me continue to make videos like this, so your viewership and readership are always appreciated. If you haven't seen my previous video of the Twinslayer theory, it basically covers why I think Jaime Lannister's story arc makes most sense if he's the Valonqar. You can watch that video, as well as many others from YouTubers with similar theories, as I'm not the first person to think Jaime will kill Cersei. In fact, I'm probably in the majority of thinking he's the Valonqar, even though we're led to think it's Tyrion. So you can do a quick search and find tons of videos about this. In this video, we're going to be discussing, if Jaime is the Valonqar, how he will most likely kill Cersei. Let's go back to page 541 from A Feast for Crows, in which Maggie the Frog tells Cersei the following.
When your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands around your pale white throat and choke the life from you.
So, we're going to dissect this quote, except for how we've determined how Jaime is the Valonqar, because that's covered elsewhere. First, I'm going to explain my theory for how Jaime will choke the life from Cersei, and then I'll break down the evidence seen within Maggie's quote. So, how does this happen? Well, Cersei becomes a White Walker, and Jaime chokes her to death with his gold hand. I know what you're thinking. Valyrian steel and dragon glass can kill White Walkers, but not gold. But what if Jaime's hand is not solid gold, but rather Valyrian steel plated gold? It seems far-fetched until you look at the timeline in which Jaime receives the golden hand, and when Tywin had ice, the Stark family's ancestral greatsword melted down and forged into two new longswords, Oathkeeper and Widow's Wail. But who's to say there was just enough steel to make two swords?
Where did you get this much Valyrian steel?
From someone who no longer had need of it.
We've wanted one of these in the family for a long time.
And now we have two.
Two?
The original weapon was absurdly large. Plenty of steel for two swords.
Is it possible that Tywin had some extra steel set aside to forge Jaime's hand? Sure, I guess it's possible. The better question is it logical? There are a few reasons why Tywin might use Valyrian steel to forge Jaime's hand. This is made to replace Jaime's right hand, which was his fighting hand. However, that doesn't mean his phantom dominant hand can't be used as a shield. As we see when Jaime goes to Dorne, it actually comes in quite handy. This may have been Tywin's plan all along to ensure his heir could at least survive a battle should he be unable to be as great of a swordsman with his left hand as he was with his right. Another reason Tywin may have done this was in anticipation of the Lannister debts to the Iron Bank and the Tyrells. This was right around the point when Cersei was told that the Lannister mines have stopped producing gold.
Do you know how much gold was mined in the Westerlands this past year?
Haven't a clue.
Go on, your best guess.
Pounds, tons, ounces.
Doesn't matter, the answer's the same.
It can't be.
Our last working mine ran dry 3 years ago.
Then how do we pay for anything?
The Crown owes the Iron Bank of Bravos a tremendous amount of money.
How much?
A tremendous amount.
Valyrian steel is said to make weapons and other things of unparalleled quality, meaning it's extremely valuable. Hiding it in plain sight could have been some sort of contingency plan that Tywin had for his family. But, C-Dub, why would Tywin keep this a secret from his children? Well, keeping the Valyrian steel hand a secret from Jaime and Cersei may not have been Tywin's intention. Again, this is all based around the convenient timing that ice was forged into Oathkeeper and Widow's Wail. The quick breakdown is, Tywin gifts Oathkeeper to Jaime. They get in a father-son argument about carrying on the family business, then Joffrey dies. Tyrion is accused of being the poisoner. He has a show trial, then a trial by combat, And then Tyrion kills Tywin. So much happens around this time, and Tywin and Jaime are kind of pissed at each other. So it seems logical that Tywin simply didn't get around to explaining to Jaime that his new hand was not only made of gold, but also Valyrian steel. If this is true, I imagine it'll be a big reveal similar to how Valyrian steel killing White Walkers was a big reveal in Hardhome when Jon Snow defeated an other with Longclaw. So let's take a look at Maggie the Frog's quote again to get an idea of how this comes into play with Cersei's death. So the drowning part could mean that with Euron Greyjoy abandoning Cersei when he sees a White Walker, she is left in King's Landing to die with very little defense. This could result in the Night King sacking King's Landing and Cersei bending the knee to the Night King, becoming his bride and maintaining her position as queen. This will likely be history repeating itself in a way, as it parallels her marriage to Robert during his rebellion. When Jaime finds this out, he strangles her to death with his Valyrian steel hand. The Valonqar, Jaime, shall wrap his hands. He can also use his left hand if he wants to, but it's the Valyrian steel that kills the White Walker, which Cersei will become. About your pale white throat and choke the life from you. The White Walkers may be dead, but they have life, per se. Maggie the Frog might be referring to life, not as living or dead, but rather existing or ceasing to. Perhaps being choked to death by the Valonqar will be a mercy kill. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching.